Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I am Dr. Claudia Albers, Planet X research and professional physicist. And today I'd like to bring to you another one of my articles. This one's entitled Planet X Captured Atmospheres and Clouds on Earth. Now, the Planet X system of stellar cores, which is a system of dead stars, planets, and moons, has been affecting the solar system for thousands of years. And you may look at Article 368 entitled The Destroyer System, Planet X and the Oort Cloud for more details. One such object can be seen in the sun's corona in these SDO images. And you can see solar atmosphere or a solar corona attaching to it. And of course, this is to be expected as stellar cores are positively charged and the sun's corona is negatively charged. So it will be attracted to the stellar core. The sun's corona will be attracted to it. So you have a positively charged object, and of course, the sun's corona is negatively charged. And as you can see, it's a perfectly spherical object. It looks dark in the sun's corona. It seems to be drawing the sun's corona to itself. So because we can see the sun's corona attaching to it at several points here, these objects will draw the Earth's atmosphere in the same way when they approach the Earth. And you may look at Article 452 entitled Planet X Objects are Destroyers with Low Gravitational Influence. Now, the reason why the sun's corona is negatively charged and why the core of all celestial objects is positively charged is because of the gravitational interaction. And the charge separation part of the gravitational interaction causes oppositely charged matter to separate into an inner positive region and a negative outer layer, so that this structure occurs everywhere on the micro and macroscopic scale. In other words, from atoms to galactic nuclei. And you see the simplest atom we can have here. That's the hydrogen atom. It has one proton in the nucleus, one electron in its outer layer. The same structure. Positive, dense interior, low density, negatively charged outer layer. And the same will occur with a galactic nucleus, with a star, a planet, a quasar, which is a proto-galaxy. They will all have the same structure. And for more details on that, you may look at Book 3, entitled Planet X Revealed Gravity and Light. Now, here we see one of these stellar cores coming in towards the sun. And it seems to be surrounded by a huge number of objects, possibly debris, possibly smaller stellar cores, a huge number of objects. And for more details on this, you may look at Article 425 entitled Incredibly Fast Object in Revealing HI1A Images Likely Larger than the Sun. Because this object ended up being extremely large, and I estimate its size in that article. So the smaller pieces that we see here must be very large as well. But all these pieces seem to be enveloped in a toroidal or donut-shaped cloud, which they most likely drew from the sun in an earlier close approach to the sun. Because remember, we can see that they seem to draw, when they arrive in the sun's corona, to draw that part of the sun, which is the sun's atmosphere, towards themselves. Now, this is the 2007 stellar core, which approached the sun on February 20th, 2007. So this is a stereo B core 2 image, and you can see the object there. And this object was dark and seemed to have what I then called a toroidal-shaped envelope. And I called it an ionizing envelope because it emitted light from this cloud layer or atmosphere, toroidal-shaped atmosphere around it, which was somewhat in this shape. It seemed to emit more light on this side, which was facing away from the sun, than on the other side. There was a bright spot there. And for more details, you may look at Article 98 entitled Planet X and Stellar Evolution. So this object also had this cloud-like structure around it. It also seemed to have a debris field that seemed to be visible further out from the object. So the 2007 stellar core had a dark core and was surrounded by a toroidal-shaped cloud which emitted light. And therefore I called it an ionizing envelope, as it was likely to be what was left, either what was left of the star's atmosphere, or it was a gained atmosphere. Well, at the time I thought it was part of what was left. Now it seems that it is most likely a captured atmosphere, because we see these objects drawing that atmosphere from the sun's corona. And this object seems to be a star. It was quite large. It was about 2.2 times larger than Jupiter, and so it would have been the core of what was once a star. So the object seems to be a star, and thus, as it absorbs photon gravitational energy, it ionizes its cloud its cloud envelope so that it emits light. And here you can see that as it approached the sun, this envelope that surrounds the object, cloud envelope, got darker and darker. You can see it approaching the sun there. So the stellar core seemed to go from light emission to light absorption as it approached the sun, since its envelope became darker as it got closer to the sun, indicating it was absorbing light energy. Now the sun responded by distorting its surface in the direction of the object so that it was no longer covered by the occulter. You can see that here. This is the sun actually distorting its surface. Usually the sun's inner corona is completely covered by the occulter. You can see part of it here. You can see it better there. And the sun's supposed to be there, but suddenly its whole surface shifted, or it seemed to become extremely bright. So this is basically plasma from the sun that is coming out from the sun, and therefore the sun is actually distorting its surface. So this is most likely chromospheric plasma moving out from the sun's interior in the direction of the object in response to the object's disruption of its internal positive electric field due to the object's low gravitational energy or potential. And this is explained in article 505 entitled Planet X Creating Earthquakes by Inducing Positive Plasma Current Flows, because they induce the Earth to basically do the same thing, which results in volcanic eruptions and earthquakes on Earth. They basically like CME events on the sun. And here's a Soho Lascaux C1 image from 1986, and you can see more of these objects that seem to be surrounded in toroidal-shaped clouds. And previously I actually thought these dark circles surrounded by this colored ring were actually distorted rings due to diffraction effects and the telescope being defocused. But now I actually think that this is actually what these objects look like. They have this toroidal-shaped cloud around them. And this is perhaps then what they look like. This would be the stellar core, and it's the atmosphere that it gained becomes this toroidal-shaped cloud. Smaller ones would have these as well. And positively charged debris will attract corona as well, but it will most likely be completely covered in it. And this is because the toroidal shape is most likely associated to the object's magnetic field, which will cause material to gravitate away from the poles towards the equator. And of course, debris pieces will not have magnetic fields, so the whole surface of the piece is likely to be covered in this atmosphere. Of course, they would have to be positively charged, because the corona is negatively charged, and without it being negatively charged, it wouldn't attach. So neutral debris pieces would most likely remain as will not have an atmosphere around and will not capture one. And the cloud is, as I said, negatively charged and will therefore align itself to the object's magnetic field. Only debris pieces which do not have a magnetic field but are positively charged will tend to have their whole surface covered in atmosphere or cloud from the sun's corona. And here's a close-up of the left side of that image where you can more clearly see that ring-shaped cloud and the dark center, which would be the actual stellar core. Now, we also have these objects coming into the Earth's atmosphere. Just like they went into the sun's atmosphere, they come into the Earth's atmosphere. And you can see that this is an object because what seems at first to be a hole in the clouds, if you look carefully, is actually convex. In other words, it curves downwards. It has a curvature. So it's the bottom surface of a spherical object. And it's blue because there are sun simulators, holographic projectors, which emit blue light and shine the blue light onto the bottom of the object so that it looks like it's just a break in the clouds. And you can see that there's this cloud around this object, and this cloud layer is pink in places, quite pink here, and gray in others. It's dark gray here. And this indicates that this cloud is absorbing light. So it's of course associated to planet X matter in the Earth's atmosphere. So the cloud in the image is pink or dark gray, even though it seems to be quite tenuous, quite diffuse here. And so this cloud is absorbing light, and this is why it's gray. So, and the darker the cloud is, the more absorbent it is, the more light it is absorbing. Dark gray cloud is absorbing nearly all the light that falls upon it. Pink or magenta cloud will be absorbing green light and reflecting red and blue, as pink is a mixture of red and blue light. The cloud is most likely captured atmosphere, which the stellar core drew from the Earth's atmosphere and through which it is drawing energy. The atmosphere looks very much like a normal water cloud in the Earth's atmosphere, except for the pink color, so it is most likely made of water. Water is a polarized molecule with a negative side, which will attach to a positively charged object. It may also be cloud, which has formed around dust, which is part of the object's debris field. This dust would then have to be positively charged in order to draw water molecules from the Earth's atmosphere. So in conclusion, stellar cores entering the Earth's atmosphere absorb water molecules from the Earth's atmosphere, which then becomes their own captured atmospheres, and through those atmospheres they seem to absorb gravitational photon energy from the Earth. And these are the references. This is Dr. Claudia Albers, Planet X physicist. Thank you for watching.